Hello guys, Ayete is here. I want to show you my Herald Thunder concept for Great-like and low-level maps farming. I want to explain everything piece by piece, and let's start, I think. So, first, I want to tell you about Herald Thunder and how this is work. So, if we kill enemy what is shocked, we activate our Herald Thunder effect, and he strike everything in his range, dealing lifting damage. So what we want to do is kill shocked enemy and then killing a lot of more shocked enemy by shocking with our herald. So this is chain reaction, and everything what we want to do after it's just walking and killing everything. So, but if you want clearing fast, we have to kill frozen enemy to activate our herald ice effect. So we have to use 3 dragons mask for that. I think this is the best way for do that. When we use 3 dragons mask, our lifting damage freezing instead of shocking. So every kill with our herald thunder is freezing enemy killed, so then we activate our herald ice effect. Then we convert our herald ice effect to fire, and then our fire damage frozen and shock enemy, and then we killing shocked enemy, and then we proc our herald thunder. We do that because our Herald of Ice is linked with Cold to Fire. This is very important, you can't forget it, you have to use Cold to Fire. And we use added lifting because we have Hoyer of the Storm and increased critical strike support. So let's talk about gems and passive tree and everything about it. So I told you how heralds work, so now I tell you what is best to support your heralds, gems and passive tree, and of course gear. So Herald Thunder have to be linked with Assassin Mark, because this is our only way to generate power charge until you have Skyford, but I don't know it's good enough build for invest Skyford, especially for him. So Assassin Mark work well and you don't need anything, just use only that and will be okay, trust me. Use curse on hit, of course, and then use increase critical strike for 4 link, for 5 link increase critical damage, and for 6 link use lifting penetration. I think this is best way to go. For our Herald Thunder, we have to link for him, for our Herald Ice, we have to link Cold to Fire, then increase critical strike support, and then increased area, or if you use Hoyer of the Storm, use added lifting damage, because this is procs our bolt reaction, bolt attack on, just it. So for gear investment you need 3 dragons mask is necessary. For chest you just need 6 links, so tabula rasa will be okay. You don't need resistance or life, I just have it because I was lucky with craft. Then use scepters for elemental damage. You have to know our thunder effect only scale with elemental damage, so spell damage and something like that not work for him. So use 2 Doriani, because Doriani is best for this build because of his really high elemental damage and elemental leech, and also global critical strike chance, so this is big goal for that build. I use 2 of them, but I think you don't have to use that if you have it money, and also you don't have to use that because it's really budget build. So let's talk about stats. If you have Horror of the Storm, this is great neck and it's very cheap. This costs something like 10 chaos for me. You can use Chimeric. You have to have highest lifting resistance what you can get in every piece of gear, because this give you a lot of crit chance. So this ring is totally crap if you have it that, but if you have that ring gives you a ton of crit chance, so this is something like really amazing diamond ring for me and cost a lot. Also this help us with levels, because with Horror of the Storm we don't have to spend a lot of currency for good levels. We just can buy lifting resistance levels, life, and anything what can help us, like global crit multi, and this is very cheap for us. So I highly recommend buying that, because this is amazing neck and it's just amazing. I can't say more about it. So then use high life. Movement speed is very important, so always try to take biggest movement speed what you can get. About its same highest life and lifting resistance and auto resistance. Maligaro is really nice because give us crit chance. It's really important for that build. So if you can buy with elemental weakness or something like that. It's really well. But you don't need that, of course. You don't need it. But if you buy second course, you of course have to use that. I think it's better to spend 3 points than waste ring slot. So use that. Keep it in mind. For our gems, I used for movement skill, lifting warp, blood magic, and less duration. I think it's important to have movement skill for build like that, because we want to be fast and clearing fast. So I think you have to have one movement skill, and I think for that build lifting warp is the best, because we have really nice cast speed and we have it and increased duration in 3, so lifting warp is really powerful here. For our opening kill, I recommend blood magic, flame blast, and increased critical strike support. Flame blast is amazing for that build because we have it and spell damage in 3. So flame blast give us spell damage by itself. So it's really amazing because we have high elemental damage and high crit. So that skill make sick amount of damage. So it's one of the best. You can't find better skill for that, because with our 3 dragon mask, flame blast shocks instead of ignite. So it's really the best one. For our movement speed skills and something like that, we have to use cast when damage taken, summon ice golem. If you want, you can use flame golem on any golem what you want. I just used ice golem because I have red socket here and I can change it. I don't want to spend money for that. And you have to use phase run if you want to be really fast. A phase run gives us a lot of movement speed, and we activate with Doedre Flask, because when we use that, we strike ourselves, and then we proc our cast when damage taken, and cast when damage taken proc our phase run. And because we won always with blood rage, we have a lot of frenzy charge, because we have frenzy charge in 3 as well, and we have something like 7 seconds our phase run. So it's enough to farm another frenzy charge and another Doedre Flask, and then we use that again, and we have permanent buff from phase run, and this is really sweet for example Drake-like, and of course increased duration for that. For our helmet, in helmet I used wall haste, faster casting, blood rage, and increased duration. This is only for Dried Lake and really low level maps, because it's only movement speed from that, only movement speed. If you want run maps and you want swap your helmets, or chest, or just wall haste and blood rage setup, you just have to take blood rage and pat it somewhere else, because you need blood rage for that build if you want to be fast like me here. So keep it in mind. For mapping, you just take that, and swapping for wall storm, and added lifting damage and increased duration support. This is amazing because this is tons of elemental damage, and when you just farm that when you running map, and when you find boss or hard elite or something like that, you just use one and kill everything really quickly. So this is amazing for that build, and I think you have to use that for maps. Okay, now I show you how this build is fast. So let's start. I show you a quick run on Dried Lake. how I do that and how I manage my flask. I'm not good with my flask because I never played with something like that, so I'm still learning how to use 5 flask every time properly. So how you see, our damage is really powerful. I'm just running, currency and gems dropping. How you see, we one-shotting everything pretty easily. It's really fast. You see, that was boss and he just disappeared. He died in few seconds. So this build is really powerful. You can make great money. Oh, you see, our damage is incredible. We don't need wall skill here, but if you won't spend too many time for killing wall, use wall stormcall instead of wall haste. It's better, I think. So how you see, it's really fast. Don't forget about your flask, about wall haste. Just use that. You know, I totally retard and unskill, and still I'm killing so fast, so I don't have a problem with my flask charge. How you see, we are done here. So this is amazing way to farm currency really fast. So now I show you how it works in maps. So for mapping we use flask, Quicksilver flask with more movement speed, Atsiri promise for leech and extra damage, Diamond flask for more critical strike chance, and this is important to have somewhere freeze, anti-freeze effect, because you can YOLO chest, then you don't have to worry about them, you just click everything and don't have to think when you have that. So I think you have to have one anti-freeze effect. And then onslaught, because this is give us more and even more movement speed. So this is something like little Quicksilver flasks. It's always nice to have more movement speed for the right leg, and the other elixir for, you know, phase run and endurance charge. It's always nice, and this is also help us with our power charges, because sometimes, you know, if you have bad luck, Assassin Markets isn't enough, but if you spam that, it's great. For mapping we use one bleed instant life flask and one free shock instant flask for if we find one elemental reflect mob. We just spam that and he died and we lived and we are happy. And for mapping, how I said, we swap our wall haste and blood rage for Valn Stormcall. I prepared some maps to show you before, but I have little advice about them if you play with build like that. Just spam transmute orb everywhere, and then you see, we see now every reflect mode map here. So if you find elemental reflect, just, you know, throw that map away or reroll it or do something with that, and find elemental status element avoid. If you find that, I suggest you to change that, because it's not great to play with that, because we have to freeze and shock, so if mobs can't evade that, it can be problematic for us. So you can of course change Diamond Flask for Dying Sun Flask. This will be amazing only for Vinctar, but I have money for that, and I don't want to spend money for that, because I just don't want it. So I think Flask is something what you have to use for you, and you have to feel good with that. So I think Atsiri Flask is must have, because this give us a lot of damage and leech, so it's also very cheap. So this is only one flask what you have to use, that, in my opinion. Let's start. How you see, very easy, fast magic map. You see, I just running like endless retard. I don't care about anything, everything dying. Take every map because you can run white map. It's no problem for you because you just run to boss, you're looking for boss and leaving. If you take growth on, you know, clearing biggest mobs if you find them. And look at that. Where is the boss? How you see, I don't have to use even my wall storm card because my herald thunder was good enough to kill him in few seconds, so that damage is amazing. I'm not saying that build is OP, but if you want only run low level maps and something like that, it's really powerful. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions or something like that, just let me know. And I put every links like my passive tree in description. I think that will be two versions of that, one with bigger life and one with that what I use now. So pure glass cannon with frenzy charge and crit multi and everything for damage what we can get. So just it. Thank you for watching. Guys, sorry I forgot it. I want to show you how this build is powerful and don't need anything to farm Dried Lake and make you make for your first money for bigger investments or for something like that. I want to show you don't need that, and what I do, I just take it away. So just look at that. Okay, I can't take anything more because I need something to open my kill, so yeah, just look at that. Oh, I forgot it about our herald eyes, so I know retard. So yeah, just running like crazy. How you see, no difference. I'm naked now and I still killing well. So yeah, this is amazing because you don't need anything for clearing. Oh, how you see, we clear. Oh, Hop. No. So yeah, this build is really powerful and you clear even naked. So I hope you enjoy and let me know if you want to need to know. My nick in game is zjebany internet, so feel free to ask me. Thank you for watching.